Tuesday, the 9th. Early in the morning, been sitting here thinking. Turned this on a couple of times about making a video. But why? If I do, put it up on YouTube. I can say that because a Jew is running YouTube. He'll just get buried, hidden, or maybe even struck down with a hate speech. Put it up on BitChutes, where I'm under the impression that 90% of the channels on BitChutes are Trump tarts, brainwashed Trumpians, worshiping a man. It's where they're putting their faith in a man. So why bother anymore? I did have one thing I wanted to touch on. Hearing about different lawsuits now being implemented for forcing a jab in the workplace. Companies are privately owned, and they can trespass you if you try to walk through their doors and don't comply with their way they want to run their business. If they require a mask, it doesn't matter if you have a health problem. They can trespass you. But going back to the lawsuits, and the Bible said it was given unto him for times, and the dividing of times. And he would think to change the times and the laws. And if all these governments are in lockstep with this boogie bug, where do these judges come from? Well, there might be a temporary, sustained, or a small victory. But eventually, once it's ruled that an employer has the right to cause you to take the jab or terminate you, that will set a precedence. Because he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. Never thought I'd see this day. Never even dreamed of anything like this. Watched some science fiction movies. Predictive programming. Yeah, I'll tell this story. Wasn't going to, but maybe it'll help somebody sometime to get a point across. My neighbor bought a couple sailboats and just sold the other one. And I got a ladder that he used. It was pretty nice ladder where you can climb up and get right into the boat. So I let him have it for a while. He bought one, then he sold it and bought another one, blah, blah, blah. A couple nights ago, he was returning my ladder. We was out there talking. I said, "You sure you don't want to keep it for when you buy another sailboat?" He said, No, I'm going to keep the one I got. And I'm going to be down there. Basically, that's just how the conversation went. Be down there on Tuesday and Wednesday on the boat. Because it'll be about 10 degrees warmer down there than it is here. I said, oh, okay. Just a couple 100 miles south, it's going to be 10 degrees warmer. So, I stepped off the porch and I pointed at the sun. I said, now that you brought this up, this is NASA's numbers. NASA tells us that is 93 million miles away. And the heat and the light source travels through utter darkness for 93 million miles. And it's a 500,000 miles across. And the Earth is 24,000 miles in diameter. It makes it 12,000 miles across. Which wouldn't, in comparison, be but a grain of sand. And you just admitted that by traveling 200 miles, the temperature is going to be 10 degrees warmer. So I told him, travel 1,000 miles. Down in Florida, it'd be 50 degrees warmer. How can that be? I didn't touch on this, but I will now. I didn't touch on this part of it with him, but I will now. Well, I should have said that blackness of space, right? Here's NASA's reasoning for that. It has to reach the atmosphere. Okay, so you're telling me that it's going to be pitch black, 93 million miles. When does that blackness go away? When you get 10 million miles away from it? When you get 5 million miles away from it? Is it still blackness of space? When you get 1,000,000 miles away from it? Or when you get 1,000 miles away from it, is it still the blackness of space? Where there is light, there can be no darkness. That right there is one of the biggest lies NASA has perpetuated on the human race. That is science. That is physics, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But anyhow, I could see the wheels turning. He said, you know what? All I know is that Tuesday and Wednesday I'll be down there on the boat. And I said, now, on the flat earth map with the ice wall around the outside and the sun rotating, because he's seen me out there 2 years ago documenting that the sun came into our perspective in the northeast, headed south by the shadows on the ground, and then turned and went way northwest out of my view. The rest of the hours would have been the circuit, the northern circuit, across the flat earth. But anyhow, I told him that, let's say this bush right here is the magnetic North Pole. And the compass always points north. No one has ever made a circumference all the way around the earth north to south. They do east to west, and they think they're going in a straight line. But I showed him, like I'm holding a compass. And I walked all the way around this bush. See, I just made a northeast circumference around what would be the earth, by the compass always pointing north. Just like on the flat earth, it would do that. I told him about the treaty of the Antarctic. You know, I've been planting seeds with him for quite a while, and he's just don't really even want to know about it. He said, but you know what? I'm going to be down there in that boat Tuesday and Wednesday. Basically, what does it matter? And then as he was leaving, he said, but I got my jab. He's talking about his shot. I said, oh, okay. He said, but there might be nanoparticles in it. So he already has heard that before. I said, it could be. Don't know. We don't know what they're spraying in the air above us either. And I looked at him, I said, are you sure you're not a Mason? Kind of a slight little grin. You just don't know. But anyhow, will these lawsuits play right into the agenda? Once a precedent is set. Something to think about. It's happening. Love y'all down the road.